Okay, so welcome back to the second part of the discussion on comprehensive budgeting. So now let's talk about the approaches in budgeting. So we have two approaches in budgeting. We have the top-down approach and the other one is the bottom-up approach. So anong pinagkaiba ng dalawa? When we talk about top-down approach, so it is an approach in budgeting where the top management, including executives, prepares the budgets, then pushes down the budget to different department heads upon approval. So it is now the responsibility of the different department heads to communicate the budget to their team members. Kaya nga top-down. Kung pupunta tayo sa triangle, di ba? So, mga itsura niyan. So, si top management, siya yung magpe-prepare ng ating budget, and then afterwards i-communicate na yun siya sa iba't ibang department. So top-down approach is also known as imposed budgeting. Bakit imposed budgeting or authoritarian budgeting? Kasi nga si management, si top management ang may say when it comes to budgeting. So wala nang magagawa yung ating different department. Kunyari na employee ka, wala kang say about sa budget, so susundin mo lang. Di ba? Pag sinabing authoritarian, parang authoritative leader, di ba? Susundin mo kung ano yung sinabi ng leader mo. So ito, susundin mo yung kung ano yung sinabi ng top management. Si top management ang masusunod. So it is called as such since top management creates the budget and upon approval imposes the budget to the lower level management. So the following are the advantages and disadvantages of top-down approach. Ang advantage noon is it provides a clear expectation to different departments as to goals and objectives. So this approach can give departments a clear-cut picture of top management expectation and where they want to take the business in the future. Aside from that, it is more expedited approach in budgeting since no participation in lower level management, and since there's no participation expected in the budgeting process, this approach is considered as time saver. Mas madali, walang problema when it comes to budgeting. Hindi siya time consuming kasi kung dadaan pa siya sa iba't ibang department, time consuming siya. So ito, meron na agad na ka-prepare. Ang gagawin na lang, i-implement na lang ni management. Pero ano-ano ba yung disadvantage pag ganon? So this approach can cause demotivation. Bakit demotivation? Kasi hindi sila involved when it comes to budgeting process. Hindi nila naisasabi yung mga problem kasi 'di ba mas since yung mga nasa lower position, sila pa yung hands on, 'di ba? Sila yung direct involved sa operation ng business. So mas nakakaalam sila when it comes to the budgeting process na sila mismo na yung gumagamit kung ilang amount of materials, kung ilang cost yung nagagastos, di ba? So hindi nakaka-motivate. So they are demotivated, di ba? This approach can lead to unrealistic estimations and expectations since top management is not involved in the day-to-day operations. Yung sinabi ko, di ba? Hindi involved si top management sa day-to-day operations. So possible na yung mga ilalagay nilang amount doon is unrealistic estimations, malayo sa katotohanan kasi nga estimate lang nila yung kung ano yung sa tingin nila, pero since hindi sila involved sa day-to-day operations, hindi nila nakikita kung ano talaga yung actual na cost na i-incur ng ating operation. And then since no participation is needed for lower management, this approach may cause resentment, one imposed or communicated. Resentment, possible na magkaroon ng mga problem, ng mga issues, 'di ba? Kasi nga hindi in-involve si ating mga lower management or si ating mga employees sa ating budgeting process. So, tingnan lang. 'Yon. Okay, next. Let's talk about the bottom-up approach. So, it is the exact opposite of the top-down approach. So, kung kanina ang top management ang nagde-decide, ito naman is it allowed to participate in the budgeting process yung ating mga employees or nasa lower management. Kaya nga tinatawag siyang participative kasi nga nagpa-participate yung ating mga nasa lower management. And after each department creates their own budget, pinupush up siya sa top management for review and approval. So baliktad naman, yung mga nasa each department, yung mga actual nasa involved, hands-on na involved sa ating operation, sila yung gumagawa ng budget. And then pinapa-approve nila sa management. So, ganon. Advantage nun, both approaches are acceptable, but for better management acceptance, it is recommended to use bottom-up approach since, okay, it is preferred by the behavioral scientists since it boosts the employee commitment and morale. Kasi nga, involved sila, nagkakaroon sila ng participation. So, ibig sabihin, nararamdaman na employee na may say sila sa company, di ba? This approach can lead to a more reasonable budget since different members of each department know much more about their department. So, mas alam ng bawat department kung ano yung reasonable budget na pwedeng i-allocate sa kanilang department kasi 'di ba mas involved sila sa production. And this approach leads to increased employee motivation kasi nga they feel that their input is valued by the top management. Disadvantage nga lang, okay, since every department is involved, the main disadvantage is baka magkaroon ng budget slack. Budget slack is not present in top-down approach since the top management is the one who created the budget. But here, baka ang gawin ni manager is babaan niya, i-understate niya yung sales or i-overstate yung mga expenses, di ba? Para magkaroon ng magkaroon ng mas magandang, anong tawag doon? Maganda yung makita ng top management, ay maganda yung performance ni manager na ganito, sales manager. Pero which in fact, binawasan niya pala yung target sales niya. Okay? This approach is time consuming din, okay? Since maraming department ang kailangan ng kanilang mga views and opinions, this approach may be viewed as exclusionary by top management since they are less involved in the budget preparation. Ayun. Now let's talk about budget versus standards. So budget and standards are benchmark or norms. So the following are the similarities and differences of standard cost and budgeted cost. Both standard and budgets are predetermined or planned costs. Standard costs are usually calculated per unit, while the budgeted costs are expressed per total. So, standard cost per unit, budgeted cost per total siya. On the perspective of accounting, budgeted costs are not journalized, whereas standard costs are incorporated in the cost accounting system. Both standard costs and budgeted costs aim at cost control and used for performance evaluation, and both are periodically reported since they are being compared to the actual result. Now, let's talk about the types of the budget. We have the fixed or static budget, flexible budget, okay, and then, ano pa? Okay, yun lang muna. Dalawa pala, fixed or static budget and the flexible budget. Okay, a fixed or static budget is a financial plan that remains unchanged. Kaya nga fixed siya, diba? Regardless of the fluctuations in the actual activity. So this budget is intended for to be static, irrespective of the level of activity you actually attain. So this type of budget is not modified if the actual level of activity is different from the level of activity. So static budget are used to achieve optimal financial performance because static budgets serve as a control mechanism. Kinokontrol niya, kaya nga whether mataas or mababa yung level ng ating activity, still yung ating budget is remain unchanged. This is to prevent maiwasan yung mga overspending and to keep track of the matching of the revenues and expenses. So most of the time, fixed or static budget are used in evaluating the performance of fixed costs. Diba, ang fixed cost kasi hindi nagbabago yan eh. So ginagamit yung ating fixed or static budget when it comes to the evaluation of the fixed cost. Okay? Then, static budgets are often used by the non-profit, education, and government organizations as the allocations made to them are usually fixed. Diba? When it comes to government, meron tayong Department of Budget and Management. So, yung budget, yung cost na allocated sa isang government department is fixed, diba? Fixed for a certain period of time. Next is static budgeting is quite effective for companies where sales and costs are somehow predictable or stable for a period of time. So if the level of sales and costs fluctuates from time to time, hindi bagay yung ating static budget kasi nga ginagamit lang siya for those companies that have a stable sales and costs. So static budget lacks flexibility to adjust to unexpected changes. So hindi siya ginagamit when it comes to those companies na mayroong fluctuations. Next, let's talk about the flexible budget. From the word flexible, diba? Extremely useful siya to those companies that have a range of activity rather than a single level of activity. So this type of budget is set for alternative budget at different expected levels of activity. Ibig sabihin, Sometimes tumataas yung sales, sometimes mababa yung sales, so sometimes mataas yung cost, sometimes mababa yung cost. So from the name itself, flexible, dynamic. Okay, as the budget is being adjusted, no, to conform to the actual level of activity. Hence, the concept of cost behavior and the determination of cost equation are applicable to this type of budget. So the main advantage of using flexible budget is budgeting efficiency. Flexible budget can be used more easily. Update a budget for revenue or cost when the actual level of activity differs from the budgeted level. Okay, now let's talk about the illustration. Mag-illustration tayo when it comes to the static budget and flexible budget. Here are the questions. What is the static budget variance? Static budget variance as to revenue and cost, fixed cost, variance revenue, and variable and fixed cost. So letter A, ang tinatanong static budget variance. So when it talk about the budget variance is the difference between the budgeted amount and the actual amount of a certain item. So under the static budget, okay, the predetermined amount is not adjusted. So magkano ang ating budgeted sales? 90,000 multiply by 5 pesos na selling price. Magkano ang ating actual sales? 92,000 times 5, so 460,000. So meron tayong budget variance. Is it favorable or unfavorable? Favorable because mas mataas yung ating actual sales as compared to the budgeted sales. Next, letter B, budgeted variable cost and budgeted fixed cost. Okay, so ang ating budgeted variable cost is 216,000. Okay, ang ating actual variable cost is 225. So meron tayong unfavorable na 94 since mataas ang ating actual. So budgeted fixed cost naman 50,000, actual variable cost pa rin is 25 kasi wala naman tayong actual fixed cost diyan variable cost lang siya. Actual fixed cost pala to, fixed cost. Nagkamali lang siguro siya. 47,500. So that is favorable since mas mataas ang ating mas mababa ang ating actual fixed cost. For letter C, under flexible budgeting, the budgeted amount is adjusted to the actual level of activity if such is different from the budgeted level. So, ang ating budgeted sales is 92, same pa rin, no? 92,000 ang ating, saan ba yan? Actual sales, 92,000. So, ang ating, okay. Ano naman ito? Budgeted sales is 92,000 times 5, though 400, ano yan? 400, ang ating budgeted sales is 90,000 lang. In-adjust to. Ginawang 92 para magkaroon ng 62. Magkaroon ng 0 or nil variance. So, observe that budgeted sales were adjusted by using actual, yung actual 92. Kasi ito kung hindi natin i-actual yan, 90,000 times 5, mababa, 400, ilan yun? 50. So, 450. So, kung 450. 90,000 pala, sorry. 90,000, tama naman, 90,000. Okay, sorry. Tama pala, 450 pala yan. 450 yan. So, ang ginawa, the budgeted sales were adjusted by using the actual amount. Ginamit tong amount. Tama naman, okay. 92. Ginamit itong 92. Okay. For letter D, 216,000 divided by 90,000 units times 92,000, 220,800. Actual variable cost is 225,400. Meron tayong unfavorable na 46. And then for budgeted fixed cost, 50,000, 47,500, 25. So based on the computation above, the budgeted variable cost is adjusted and used the actual number of units sold. Since it is a variable cost, the constant amount is the variable cost per unit. Okay? So, yun. Basahin nyo yan. And then we have here the budgeting methodologies. Meron tayong continuous or rolling budgeting, incremental budgeting, life cycle budgeting, zero-based budgeting, activity-based budgeting, Kaizen budgeting. So, papayawan lang natin, no? Pag sinabi nating continuous budgeting, gagamitin mo yung okay, budget mo nung previous year, di ba? Previous year. Yung budget, kaya nga tinawag siyang rolling kasi nire-revise lang or on a regular or continuous basis yung mga previous budget mo. Incremental budgeting, okay, wherein the current period's budget is simply adjusted to allow for changes planned for the coming period. Okay? When it comes to life cycle naman, okay, this methodology complements targeting costing and target pricing. So the life cycle of a product begins with the research development proceeding through the introduction and growth stages until maging maturity. So this is based on the life cycle ng product. Okay? And then when it comes to zero-based budgeting, inuulit mo. So budget is prepared every period from a base zero. So ibig sabihin, kabaliktaran siya ng continuous or rolling budget kasi yung rolling budget, ini-improve, nire-revise mo lang yung previous budget last year. So ito naman, from the top. So from the bottom pala, from the bottom, zero base, lahat uulitin mo. So, ang maganda dito sa zero-based budgeting is na-eliminate yung mga unnecessary costs, di ba? Kasi kung continuous or rolling budget, sometimes may mga costs na unnecessary. Kaya lang, hindi na naaalis yun kasi nga ang ginagawa natin is kini-continue lang natin, nire-revise lang natin, and sometimes hindi natin napapansin yun. Pero ang maganda dito sa zero-based budgeting, yung mga cost na unnecessary is naaalis kasi nga na-eliminate kasi nga from the top tayo, from the zero, okay, zero-based nga siya, so ulitin from the top. So ang main challenge lang doon is kapag zero-based, sometimes is it locks tawag dito, nagkakaproblema kasi nga wala kang reference sa prior year data, and sometimes short-term cost savings, long-term strategic plans, and some important expenses ay na-overlook. Baka hindi na babalik or sometimes naaalis yung mga important na expenses. And then activity-based budgeting based on activity-based costing to based on activity, which is we have a separate chapter for this, no? And then Kaizen budgeting, di ba, pag it is a Japanese term, pag sinabing Kaizen, continuous improvement. So Kaizen budgeting is based not on the existing system but on the changes that are to be made. So okay. Yun, so I think you should read this one, yung mga ating types ng budgeting process. Ayun ang ating tawag doon, budgeting methodologies. So I will give you that for your assignment. And then for the next, we'll talk about the budgeting process.